Hi, this is Alex from PHP Academy, back with another video for the New Boston. Now in this video we're going to look at a more reliable way at getting a user's IP address. Now in previous examples we've used $_server and then we've used remote address. Now this isn't always an accurate depiction of the user's IP address. For example, they might be on a shared network, so they might be, let's say, a router may exist with a few computers, or you may have someone using a proxy. So what we're going to do in here is we're going to be creating a way to grab the user's IP address based on checking each three elements. The first element we're going to check is the actual IP address. Let's say I was on a shared network. I don't want the IP address to start with 192. I want it to be the actual IP address. What we're then going to do is check if the user is using a proxy, and then what we're going to do is check if the user we're going to do a final result and say, well, if not, we'll use this remote address here. So let's have a look at what we need to set variable wise in order to perform our check. So we need some kind of values, and we're always going to be using this server preset set of environmental variables, but we're going to be doing things slightly differently. So the first one is going to be the HTTP client IP, and what this is this is checking the actual internet IP address rather than the individual computer. Like I said, if you were sat at a group of computers all connected to the same router or hub, you'd be getting a sort of like a 192 dot something address perhaps. So HTTP client IP, we need the $_server, and in here we just do HTTP client IP. So that's the first one ticked off the list. The second one is HTTPX forwarded for. So this HTTPX forwarded for, and this is when we are checking if the user is using a proxy. So let's put HTTPX forwarded for. Okay, so the last one is the final decision, if you like. I mean, this is going to be the last option. So that we've already looked at this. So it's dollar. I'm not really going to talk about it. It's just remote address there. So we need to come up with an if statement to check each one, and we're going to use the exclamation mark, and then we're going to be using empty. So we're going to be saying not empty. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say if not empty HTTP client IP, then IP address equals HTTP client IP. Else if, so we're creating an if-else statement here, or if-else statement, and we're going to say else if HTTPX forwarded for, and we can say not empty, and we're going to enclose that in brackets as well. Then the IP address equals HTTPX forwarded for. Okay, then last we're just going to say if none of these have been detected and they're all empty, then the IP address is going to be equal to remote address. Okay, so that's a lot better way of looking at it. So because I'm running on a just my computer with my local server, I'm not going to be able to test this very well because these two are definitely going to be empty. I already know that they're going to be empty. So at the end of this we can echo out the IP address. You could even put this into a function if you've already looked at functions, and you could supply this data through the function and then return a value at the end of it. But for now I'm just demonstrating with an if-else statement. So we're going to echo the IP address at the end of that. Up here we haven't defined IP address because I'm just going to leave it until it is set. So we're going to echo IP address. Let's just refresh the page and you can see, oh no, nothing's happened. So let's have a look. Okay, yeah, so I've missed off a D on there. Okay, so now let's refresh and we can see that we'll be given the value 127.0.0.1. However, you feel free to test this on your own thing, upload it to a web server, connect to the internet, test it wherever you can, just to check that everything's working. So this is a lot better way to grab a user's IP address, just by checking 3 different possibilities before we come to the conclusion that this is the address. This isn't entirely foolproof, but it is a lot better way. So if you are thinking about storing a user's IP address, try to use this. And like I said before, if you put it in a function, it's going to be a lot better and easier to use. And you can reuse that code over and over again.